Welcome to A Balancing Act, a podcast devoted to helping families navigate a loved one's memory loss and dementia. I'm Kelly Burdenshaw. And today is a very special welcome back because we are just getting started in our second season, and we are so excited about the year to come. But first, I just wanted to take a moment to express my heartfelt thanks to every listener, family, and caregiver who's joined me on this journey. My goal for the coming year is to continue working to build a space filled with understanding, hope, and compassion, because no one should walk this journey alone. So here's to a brand new season with fresh conversations and insights and real caregiver stories to help you find your balance one day at a time. Let's get started. Here come the holidays, and as they approach, most of us start to feel that familiar rush, getting decorations out of storage, checking calendars and planning travel, thinking through the meals, the gifts, the gatherings. There's a rhythm to it that returns each year. But for those of you caring for your loved one with memory loss or dementia from a distance, that rhythm can feel interrupted by something else happening under the surface. An awareness, a wondering. How are they really doing right now? Has anything changed? Are the people caring for them overwhelmed? Should I be doing more? I want to begin this episode by answering that last question very clearly. Care given from a distance is still care. It counts. It supports. It stabilizes. It is an act of love, because you don't have to be in the same room every day to make a difference. During the holidays and trying to connect with a loved one, what matters most is joining your loved one's reality as it is today. Not how it used to be, not how you wish it could be again, but how it is right now. Because when we can meet our loved ones where they are and not where memory used to allow them to be, everything becomes just a little gentler. So before the holidays, it can help to check in with the people who see your loved one regularly. Maybe that's your loved one's physician, the spouse, a sibling who lives nearby, a daily caregiver or a nurse, or even a neighbor who stops in. And you're not calling to gather every single detail or to interrogate anyone. You're calling just to understand the general rhythm of how your loved one has been lately. Have there been any changes that have become evident? How are they communicating? How are they sleeping? Are they getting more confused? Have there been moments of frustration or anxiety? And what are things they still enjoy? When you have even a little bit of that picture, you walk into holiday communications very differently. You don't walk in hoping to recreate the past. You walk in prepared to connect in the present. Let's face it, phone calls can be really tricky when a loved one's memory changes. Many caregivers tell me they want to have rich, engaging conversations just like before. They want to share the stories, ask for updates, feel close. But conversations like these require asking your loved one open-ended questions. Questions that often require memory, sequencing, and recall. Things that dementia gradually takes away. When calls to your loved one feel stressful for them, they can become stressful for you too. So instead of approaching the call as a conversation I want to have, try thinking of it as a moment of comfort we can share. So don't talk about the day. You don't have to fill silences. You don't even need more than a few simple sentences. Use a warm tone. Slow down your pace a little. Wait a little longer for their answer. Simple questions that can be answered easily. All these things create connection. You might say things like, I lit a candle of you tonight and I thought of you. Or, Mom, I made that soup that you always loved. Or, Dad, I heard a Christmas song today that made me think of you. Statements like these are not memory questions. They're invitations to simply be together for a moment. I remember working with one daughter named Emily who used to end every conversation with her father completely in tears. She would ask questions that were meant to connect, but instead highlighted what he could no longer recall. So we worked together, and when she shifted to talking about the present moment, what she was making for the holidays, her dog, the kids, the weather outside, he relaxed. She talked of her memories of things he enjoyed or did for the family. And he didn't have to remember anything to be a part of the phone call. He could simply be with her. And their calls became something they both looked forward to. They were moments of companionship. And now I'd just like to take a quick pause. If this conversation is helping you take a breath, or reminding you that you're not alone in this, I'd love for you to hit that follow button. When you follow, you'll get each new episode as soon as it's released. And if you're listening on a platform that allows reviews and ratings, please take a moment to share your thoughts. It really helps us expand our reach to other families just like yours, looking for help, reassurance, and support. And if you would like to make a donation to A Balancing Act, you can find the link to Buy Me a Coffee in today's show notes. It helps us keep the mic on and the recordings going. Finally, if you can think of a friend or family member that would benefit from any of this information, please feel free to share this episode. Thank you so much for your support. Now let's talk about visits. Holidays often carry this silent pressure that a visit needs to be special, meaningful, full of memory making. But dementia changes how experience is stored. What becomes meaningful is not the impressive plan or the special outing. It's familiarity, it's rhythm, it's comfort. When you visit, you don't need to entertain. You don't need to guide or direct. You don't need to fill every minute. So here's something I always recommend. Bring something that has belonged in your loved one's life for years, something they're familiar with. Your mother's knitting, a holiday photo album, a familiar Christmas record, a recipe you can make together, even if the steps aren't followed perfectly. Your father's stamp collection or baseball cards. The hands and the body remember long after the mind does. I knew a son named Mark who dreaded visiting his mother during the holidays because the conversations were so painful. He kept trying to relive their shared memories, but those pathways just weren't accessible to her anymore. So we came up with the plan, and one year he brought a box of old Christmas cards she had saved, not necessarily to read them aloud, not to reminisce, just to look at them together. The shapes, the glitter, the handwriting, the colors. He put on quiet Christmas music. They sat side by side. She began humming. It was familiarity. It was familiarity and connection. And now we have to talk about the caregiver who is there every day. The one who handles the daily tasks, the emotional balancing, the repeated explanations, the coordination, the exhaustion. If you are the long-distance caregiver, one of the most powerful ways you can support your loved one is by supporting the person who is physically and consistently there. That person deserves care too. And here's a tip. Instead of saying, just let me know what you need, take the responsibility for figuring that out off their shoulders. Try something like this. I've been thinking of you and I want to help. I can handle insurance calls. I can take over managing the bills and the appointment schedule. I can take care of ordering supplies and medications, even groceries. It means so much to taking the weight off the everyday, and especially during the holidays. That matters. And yes, those caregivers deserve holiday gifts too, not necessarily objects, but acknowledgement. A card that says, I see the care you're giving, and I am so grateful. Just being seen is a gift. Now we come to when it's time to leave. Saying goodbye, whether it's at the end of a phone call or at the end of a visit, is just never easy. There's always that moment when your heart feels pulled in two directions at once. But leaving doesn't mean your care ends. Remember, you don't have to be physically present to remain emotionally present. So as the holiday season unfolds, try giving yourself permission to release the idea of enough. You are showing up with love. You are already giving. You are already connected. I'm including in today's show notes some excellent resources about even more ways you can stay connected and lowering the guilt whenever you can. And please consider me another way to release some of that guilt. You can message me at any time at our Facebook page to ask questions, vent, or comment on ways I can help. The link is in today's show notes. From all of us at A Balancing Act, may your holidays be peaceful, joyful, and full of moments of connection that don't need to be remembered to matter. And always give yourself this grace. No one is perfect at this. No one. You're doing the best you can. You're doing it from a place of love. And that is enough. I'm Kelly Burtonshaw, and it was my pleasure spending time with you today.